Hey y'all, what's going on? It's Barb Meets World, and we're back to discuss The Real Housewives of Potomac Season 10, Episode 15, The Rocky Road to Sisterhood, and Episode 16, Driving on Empty, which also serves as the season finale, kind of, sort of. Well, actually, I guess the finale is tonight, but anyway, y'all, before we get into all that, you already know I need you guys to do a couple things for me, which include liking the video because it does help me and my channel in terms of the algorithm, helps me attract new subscribers such as yourselves. So go on ahead and please like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop down those comments, make sure your notification bell is on so you don't miss out on any of my uploads, y'all. Share me with all of your people. And let's jump right on into this thing. Hey, y'all, because we're already super, super late with this, y'all. And if you didn't catch my post that I made like on the community tab or whatever, I did say that I was going to be a little late with this one because I was out of town. And then I got right back into the swing of things. I had a super busy week when I touched back down. So I do apologize for coming to you guys so late with this, but I was like, no, I have to get this out before the new episode. So I'm getting it out by the skin of my teeth, y'all. I want to know what you guys thought of this episode, or these episodes, I should say. This trip was a disaster. Let me just start off by saying that. If you've seen the episodes, and you already know that this trip was not giving at all. And I could see multiple sides though at the same time. I will say that, y'all, because this is two episodes in one, and because we've exhausted so much time, I am just going to be kind of like hitting key points, just kind of going over some things that I wanted to say. But wait, where? Oh, okay. I was like, wait, where my notes go? But nonetheless, y'all, and also if you drop down in the live chat, if you guys are coming in here, say hello. Let me know what you guys think of where we left off on this trip. Did you guys feel like the ladies were justified in being over it? Did you guys feel like they were being too hard on Angel? I really would just love to know what you guys think, because I did see some mixed things online. But I feel like for me, at the end of the day, I don't play about where I stay. I don't play about the place I'm laying my head. I don't play about the basic human essentials, water, food, shelter. And it seemed as though at least one of those things was missing. And it was like, for the first time ever, I honestly couldn't fault Gizelle. I couldn't fault her for having such an issue. Now, whether or not she is a true 4 seasons girly for real is quite debatable. But I will say I can't fault her or the other ladies for being like, girl, what is this? Like, where do you have us at right now? But at the same time, if I was them, I wouldn't even give her the opportunity. Like, I wouldn't even go on back and forth with it. I would have just politely gathered my things and saw myself out. That's my only qualm with it. It's like, if it was such a big deal, if it was such an issue, then why not just excuse yourself and keep it? You don't even have to get nasty with her. But let's think about who we're talking about. Anyway, so what else? I also feel like Angel doesn't do herself any justice by not being open and upfront with the ladies. And she's also kind of placing Bobby in a interesting position as well, I will say, because she could have just told them that she didn't want to stay. She could have just told them that she wanted to go home. And I feel like that would have saved a lot of the back and forth. I feel like that would have not, made her look as bad as she did. But on the flip side, I also feel like the ladies were justified in feeling like, girl, like that is one of my favorite parts of the show, of these cast trips, I should say, is when all the ladies are gathered around, is when they're just kind of letting their hair down, so to speak, after they go get back from dinner or whatever. Once Gizelle goes to bed, especially because we all know Gizelle goes to bed early. Like, Gizelle is a party pooper when it comes to staying up and having a good kiki with the girls. So that's neither here nor there. But I do feel like they are justified in feeling like, girl, I thought you were going to be staying with us, or I thought we were going to be staying up there, or I thought there was going to be a little bit more cohesion between us and you, and also Tia and Kay, actually, because that's now taking them out the group. We're driving 2 hours this way, one way, this way, that way. Like, it's just way too much. And I really, really feel like she missed the mark on this one. She really did. And unfortunately, this is the type of show that they're not gonna let it slide. Shout outs to her for getting a $8,000 private jet. I don't think that's something we've seen on this particular show before, but that's neither here nor there. Once again, the way in which mostly Gizelle came at Angel, though, when she got on that private jet, she would have had to get off. Because who are you talking to, first of all? She wouldn't let her being Angel. She wouldn't let Angel get a word in. And I felt like that was so rude. There's a way to convey your displeasure without getting super rude with the person who, in their eyes, has tried to rectify the situation. Now, Angel, at the same time, what you should have did is get on that horn in the morning and at least check in to make sure the situation was resolved. Yeah, you checked in with the property manager or whoever, or the electrician, whoever, you coordinated that, but you didn't follow up with them. And even if there wasn't a water situation, it's just kind of weird to me. I don't know. I'm just so used to keeping people in the loop in these types of situations that, with any team movement, I don't understand why they're like, I would have assumed the group chat would have been like pinging and blowing up this entire trip, but it's kind of weird to me that it wasn't. Kay, my issue with you is you would say in the confessional, and you would say it to Angel one-on-one, that you didn't like how they were handling her, but in the moment it wasn't giving friend of 20 plus years. In the moment, it wasn't giving y'all gonna back the fuck up off my friend. It was giving, I still see it for Gizelle, even though in episode 16 Gizelle told you that you were on the wrong side of history again, which was a clear shot being thrown at her in regard to the fight that she had with Deborah a couple seasons back. That whole thing. Yeah, that was, this lady's not your friend. And the whole season, you're sitting here letting her slide. Y'all be letting Gizelle slide whole season, walking next to her, looking do. But she clearly doesn't see it for you, because according to her, you've been straight up Angel's ass this entire time. I do really like Jassi, y'all. And at this, like I said, I'm a little all over the place. I'm not even going scene by scene, y'all. I'm just telling you guys where I'm at at this point in time with this show. So please just fuck with me. Let me get this off, please. I feel like I really do like Jassi. I teeter back and forth on whether or not I want to see her full time, or whether she should just stay as a friend of, because I mean, let's think about the people that have been bumped up to full time, and it was a chop, Marlo. Anyway, but I did kind of feel like it was weird how she needed to let it be known that she was supposed to stay in Angel's house, but there wasn't enough room with her because they're supposed to be so cool or whatever. All of a sudden, side note, y'all peeped how Gizelle was like, oh, and that's the problem when she found out that Jassi and Angel have been talking off camera or whatever. Yeah, I clocked that. But anyway, I feel like Jassi, you're really toting the line of doing too much. You're really toting the line of I'm doing anything to stay on this show by hook or crook. Like I want her to chill just a little bit because that's what people are picking up, and I would hate to see her, not be asked back or blow her chances, so to speak, because she's just going super hard. I feel like at the wrong times, and it's just given like try hard, quite honestly. But nonetheless, I did feel like it was a little weird that she brought up wanting to stay, or she was supposed to stay at Angel's house, and she's talking about, well, read the room, babe, or whatever, read between the lines, babe. And it's just like, girl, what are you saying? Because at the end of the day, you still weren't at her house. So what are you really trying to prove here, Jassi? That's how I felt. What else do I have to say? Is there anything else that stuck out that I need to bring up for episode 15? I'm trying to look and see, y'all. Whose trip was it? What else? A lot of people didn't care for them showing, telling us how much they spent in Kimosabe. I felt like this just shows that they've been reading the comments, and I do feel like on other shows, a lot of times they don't have to even bring up the prices. Production will just insert the price on the screen themselves. So I can understand why certain people thought that this was kind of cringy, especially when I feel like, it's quite funny to me that Ashley was the one to spend the most money when she's been notoriously cheap when it comes to spending money on these types of things, but she wants to be a fashion girl or whatever, child, I guess. Anyway, Stacey ate her contacts. Yuck. What else? Oh, Angel and Monique. I loved how Angel let Monique know that the experience that she's trying to place on her is not the same experience. I do feel like, once again, Monique was completely out of line for the way she came at her, especially even if she didn't mean it maliciously. She knows how she felt when these ladies would say certain things or point out certain things in her marriage. So again, why would you then play to that same effect when it comes to Angel now, years later? I also feel like it's not weird to check in with your partner. It's all about how you do it. If you have to beg them, or if you have to, it shouldn't really, if they're not doing anything, then yeah, like, you're watching kids, like, I'm going to do this other thing. Like, it shouldn't be so much of a like debatable topic, I feel like, between the two people. But if you again, partnership, you work with your partner and take into consideration what they have going on, they take into consideration what you have going on, and you make it work. I feel like that's where Angel was coming from, and just trying to be considerate overall. And even when she said it in the moment, it didn't make me feel like this. It didn't make me think toxic. I've seen toxic, y'all, especially being somebody who is, if you guys know anything about military life, there's a lot of military wives pages. There's a lot of just military pages and stuff like that. And I feel like the reason why I have the certain outlook on this type of thing is because I've been in those Facebook groups and stuff like that. And I've seen people talking about all my husband does is play the game or whatever. And I just, asked him if he could babysit the kids. First of all, you don't babysit your kids. Those are your kids, so you watch them. Like, it's not even called babysitting. One, that's for one. And two, I've seen, again, people in those pages, and I've even had friends before, now that I think of it, that have had like a strained relationship, and one of the main reasons was because of who the child care situation, and one person not wanting to watch the kids or not want to be a team player, so to speak. So it does exist. So I'm not saying Monique was completely wrong. Like, that is a dynamic that does exist, and obviously she knows from firsthand experience. We've seen that. But at the same time, the way that Bobby is showing up on the show doesn't make me feel like he is somebody who isn't stepping up every chance he gets to be present in his kids' lives, and to take care of the kids and stuff like that. And he's always, for the most part, I'm seeing him packing, cleaning, and helping around the house, cooking them breakfast when they were on this trip and stuff like that. So I just felt like it was an unnecessary comment, especially in front of these women, Monique, that you know are going to take that and run with it. Just saying. I also didn't really appreciate how Stacey was kind of trying to be on like some mean girl-ish. It kind of seemed like a little bit, especially when this season, especially, she hasn't been able to catch a break when it comes to Ashley and Gizelle, calling her liar and calling her out for all these different things and stuff. And I really didn't like how she was quick to switch up. Once again, I do understand that nobody wants to be anywhere without water, without proper accommodations. That's not even debatable, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean that you have to like jump on the bandwagon and stuff like that, because they still don't really like you. They still don't really fuck with you, Stacey. You know? Anyway. Do I have anything else to say about this episode? I don't really think so. Gizelle was just being like so rude. Every time Wendy says something about finances or, you know, anything that can really be brought up when it comes to her legal issues and stuff like that, in this fraud case, when I say I just cringe and cover my face every single time I do. So when she said something along the lines of, yeah, because we're rich and our kids are rich too, I was just like, oh, like she just won't stop, y'all. And it sucks because I do still feel like Wendy is having her best season, but it's just like she just keeps saying and doing stuff, and it just really makes me wonder, like, girl, what? How did we get here? How did you get here though? For real? I want her to stop. Mauricio. This is when Mauricio had shown up, and it's like I understood where Gizelle was coming from, but at the same time, she also said she wouldn't mind being with him horizontally or whatever she said. So I'm just like, I feel like Kyle also would have had an issue with that too. And I want to say I don't remember what Kyle said verbatim, but she was asked about this entire thing. And also, Stacey, why are you going so hard trying to be Ashley's wing woman? Once again, she just gonna flip on you again. But anyway, Mauricio is a good looking man, but I feel like Gizelle, ultimately, if Ashley wants to do what she wants to do, which we've seen her do, then that's just going to be what it's going to be. And you should just let her, you know, get into her own messy situations if she wants to, because it's just going to make you look like it's just going to make you look like either jealous or like a cockblock. Like, I don't. it was just weird to me. And again, is there anything specific I want to hit on with episode 16? Let's see, y'all. The fact that this pretty much this entire episode, Angel, they were in the car was insane to me. Her even trying to plan an excursion such as fly fishing the morning of them leaving was crazy to me, y'all. I don't understand why a person would want to do anything before their flight, especially when they have to drive multiple hours away just to get to the goddamn airport. That was very bizarre to me. I did feel bad for Angel's like staff and the chef and stuff for like preparing all of that and then not being able to, serve it how it was supposed to be served. I did hear that like it didn't go to waste though. She gave it to the staff or the crew or whatever, which I thought was cool. But once again, Angel, you didn't do yourself any favors because you should just came back to the hotel. Like I get it was late and stuff like that, but you should just came back to the hotel. It was like you were looking for any reason to not be with them as much as I feel like you should have been. And the fact that you guys didn't bring your stuff already lets me know that you never planned on staying with them at the hotel. Clearly. Just saying. So just watching them drive around for this entire episode pretty much because you decided to go to check out a new place that you've never even gone to before, fly fishing. It was really cringy to watch. It was really cringy for me to watch because I know that these are people that are going to take any opportunity to tell you off about this. They've done it over less during the season, y'all. So I really, if she does come back next season, I want her to really analyze how she shows up and really ask herself who does she want to be friends with? What is her purpose with seeking certain friendships, and how does she want to be looked at in this group? Because right now they're not taking her serious. And after this trip, I can understand why, because there was certain things out of her control. I will give Angel that, but there was also some things in her control that I feel like she just could have done better, especially when this was going to be kind of like serve as some type of marketing, obviously, for her business. Now, what I don't agree with is people going on to her, going online and leaving these negative reviews, posing as cast members, posing as people that have utilized her business services before. No, absolutely not. That is where I say it goes too far with these parasocial relationships. I feel like at the end of the day, I don't wish negatively on her business. I feel like this is obviously not how she conducts her business for the regular paying person. But whatever she was trying to exude with this trip, it did not translate, mama. It really didn't. And it was just very cringy once again to watch her just driving around and being so lost, and just it was a mess. It was honestly a mess. Stacey and Jassi. Although I understand where Jassi is coming from when she said, well, girl, what was I supposed to do? At the end of the day, I can understand if this was a person that that maybe was already, that Jassi already knew or something, or they met like together or something. But the fact that I'm coming into this group and I'm trying to get to know all these people, I'm trying to get to know everyone and stuff like that, like that is a weird situation to be in. And I do believe, Stacey, that you weren't going to go to her wedding until you knew there was other people going, and then as a result, it was going to be filmed. And I just wish she would stand in that. I've been saying a couple times now this season that Stacey, she is clear that she lies. I do still like her, but there has to be a little bit of truth in there. There has to be some landing place. Like everything that comes out your mouth can't seem like a lie, or you have to have like some like baseline level, because then things like this go on to happen. A lot of people, some people felt like Wendy was justified and they understood why Wendy was going so hard at Stacey. Other people not so much. I'm like somewhere in the middle where I could see how it could be frustrating to know something and to feel as though the person is just lying straight in your face. But at the same time, if you do care so much about this friendship, if this is somebody you respect as a friend, the way that Wendy was speaking to Stacey, especially in conflict in front of somebody else who is going at it with your friend or whatever, that can feel like a gang up. And you've watched this lady be ganged up on all season pretty much. You've also been the recipient of that type of negativity in the group before too. So I feel like she didn't need to really add on to that. And it was, I can understand how certain people were thinking that this was making Wendy seem like she wanted a moment as well, because it kind of was. I feel like the way she was coming off, the way she was talking and stuff like that is not really consistent with how she shows up on a regular on the show, but whatever. I can't lie though, y'all. I did laugh when Angel was telling them like y'all could still go to the experience or whatever. It's there for you. Girl, what? You don't even know where you are. That's what I mean when I say Angel wasn't helping her case, because why would you even say that? That sounds stupid. We saw throughout the entire episode the time just ticking and ticking and ticking and ticking and ticking away. And it was clear that y'all weren't going to make it. We need to just go on ahead, go to the airport like we said we should have last night or whatever, and call it a day. Based on this reunion trailer, I'm not sure that Angel's really going to come guns a-blazing how I feel like she should be, but I really wish she had, because right now the way it stands is that you planned a bullshit ass trip, Angel. That's how it looks. And this is being said with the knowledge of the fact that these are ladies that went to play chicken shit bingo in Austin, Texas, just a year or two ago, or two, whatever. That's where the bar was. And that's where the bar is. With that, Angel, you landed like right here. And I say right here because the food that you guys did eat and the spreads that were prepared and stuff like that looked really good. The private jet, cool. But you missed the mark on a lot of other different ways, for real. Yeah, y'all, I really think, I'm trying to look over my notes if there's anything significant I wanted to expound upon. Anything else I wanted to expound upon. Oh, Gizelle not being close to her mom speaks volumes, and that is something I always take into account when I have new friendships. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. No, am I whipping out friendship contracts and keeping in like checklists of people and what they say and what they do? Absolutely not. But some, like, I can name 2 significant times that friendships for me went awry, and I truly believe that it was rooted in the fact that these girls had mommy issues. It manifests itself in different ways depending on the person, but I feel like that speaks volumes as to why Gizelle shows up the way she does in these platonic friendships on this show. I feel like it is interesting though that her mom, she talks to the girls more than she talks to her. No, I fully believe that's linked to why Gizelle is such a mean girl in this show. And is it just me? I just couldn't remember. And maybe because I binge watched this when I first got into the season, or first got into Potomac back in like season 4, I think it was, or whatever. I could not remember that we've actually seen Gizelle's mom on this show. I don't know why. I thought we've never been introduced to her for whatever reason. Anyway, too many things in my mind, clearly. I felt like that spoke volumes, so y'all. Angel talking about she don't like fish. Girl, what? Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this episode, y'all. We're going into the final part of the season, which is going to be this sit down with Karen and Andy and everything, and Karen coming home, because that's where we see things leaving off. And side note, none of the ending like comments and wrap-ups that the ladies had were interesting to me, but that's neither here nor there. We've never, this is crazy, to leave off a season on a cash trip that was piss poor as hell is crazy to me. But yeah, we'll get this sit down with Karen. Definitely going to be back way sooner with my thoughts on that, because obviously this is a moment we've been waiting for quite some time, y'all. So let me know what you're anticipating as far as that goes. Let me know what you guys thought of these 2 episodes as well. Of course, to drop down those comments. Let me know. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on my socials that are scrolling along the bottom of the screen. Y'all, share me with your people. Turn on the notification bell and meet me right back here, because we're going to discuss Married to Medicine if you guys watch that as well. Bye.